Hey everyone, Onepeg here with another newsy news update. So today, our fearless leader and sex icon Nikita was seen on the TwitchGaming channel, where they were showcasing an even further extended cut of his newest teaser that BSG released, having to do with the Concordia building inside of Streets of Tarkov. This was then followed by a very brief interview and Q&A with Nikita, where he talked about some of the aspects of Streets and some other things that we have coming up in the game. So rather than go through the extended cut in real time, like I did a couple of videos ago, I figured it would be a better idea to just talk about the new things that we see in this one and maybe talk about some things that were present in both of them, but I kind of glossed over, as well as go over some of the more important parts of the interview that Nikita had today with Bruce. For those of you that would rather go back and watch this footage in its original form and the interview associated with it, it starts about 58 minutes into the TwitchGaming show that was on Twitch today, June 13th, 2021. And I will put a link in the description for those of you that don't know how to type in twitch.tv/TwitchGaming. Okay, so right off of the bat, in the first just couple of seconds of this video that we did not see originally, there is this PMC over on the right walking down the sidewalk that just arbitrarily closes a car door with their shoulder just by walking into it. We've never seen any type of physical reactivity of the environment associated with something like this before without having to hit a hotkey and see an animation where you see their hand go out and push the door closed. In this case, they just walk through it and the door reacts to the presence of their body as if there's some clipping involved and some physical density. There's weight associated with both the PMC's body and this car door. I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that all of this is being done in 2019 Unity with some of these extra functions and stuff that we hadn't seen up until this point. The other thing with this is that there's a lot of ambience. And very quiet, and you can hear kind of like these rattling gunshots off in the background. The other thing that we're seeing here is that from a scenery point of view, and this harkens back to the originating images that we were shown of Streets of Tarkov, is it's always been around this quad, this block surrounding this Concordia building. So there's always kind of been these shots of like a market front and some residential areas and these firefights that are going on in this courtyard. And it seems as though this courtyard, the daycare associated with it on the first floor, the parking garage underground, and the firefights and the scenery shots that we've been getting, perhaps not the Goshen store, but everything else that we have seen, I'm being led to believe is surrounding this Concordia building, which would make sense because it seems as though that this Concordia building is the first thing that they have completed. Now that it's completed and has like a bit of area that's playable, naturally it would make sense for them to want to showcase this spot because it's been kind of fleshed out to where they can have some firefights and do some play tests and show the physics of things and how reactive stuff is to explosions and gunfire, etc. Maybe there is a Goshen store on the other side of the building that they haven't shown us. And right here we have that physics display where you see the books getting knocked off the shelves and the hole in the wall gets breached like we saw in the original trailer. And here's the Goshen store. So there is a small Goshen market right here. There is a small Goshen market in the building, in the front of the building, facing one of the main streets. That was a Goshen sign right there, which is where the shopping carts came from. So there we go. It's all of the screenshots that we've seen have all been the same Concordia building. More books and stuff flying off the shelves here. Then you have a team moving into this room. And this looks like another physics display. Shooting the computer. Books get blown off the wall. This guy throws an underhanded nade here. You can see all the paintings fly off the wall in this room. So good. So good. And then you have like the water jugs are taking some little shifting movements from fire that are hitting it. The GL nades that hit it. Shrapnel. And then here we have the BTR coming around the corner. And this is when the trailer ends. Okay, so obviously we saw a whole lot more in this. There was a lot more gameplay involved, a lot less background music, and a lot less moodiness, but still gave us that feeling of chaos and that anxious tension that we have come to love from a game like Tarkov. I think they've done a fantastic job so far showcasing what is possible. The couple of cool things that came out of this from the interview, mainly, had to do with this BTR that we saw at the very end. And if you notice, the BTR, which is another thing that I glossed over on the last video that I made, is in the last handful of frames, you can see the turret of the BTR's cannon, that 30mm cannon, turning to face the PMC in the street. which originally made us to believe that it was a squad of AI, possibly a scav boss. And then the questions obviously arose, how are we going to counter this? Well, it turns out that's not the case at all. Apparently, the animated guys that were hopping off of that BTR were a squad of PMCs, because Nikita said that the BTR is basically a taxi.
The plan is that this will be some kind of taxi.
That's right. Nikita said that you can pay the guy that's driving the BTR to take you to a specific street through a series of menus, and then they would navigate through the streets of Tarkov using the cannon of the BTR, and maybe if there's a machine gun port or something inside of the APC, to shoot at whomever as you're traveling along, as long as you have the rubles. Now, to counter this, the question was obviously, well, what are we going to be able to do about that? And Nikita said that there will be things like an RPG-7 with associated different payloads that can be used in the RPG-7 to counteract the BTR. So he has now confirmed that the RPG will be in Streets whenever the BTR shows up in Streets. Whether or not these things end up showing up at the same time when Streets gets released, I don't know. The way that he made it sound is there will be no BTR without an RPG-7. So there you have it. It's coming. It's coming. Super cool. Now, there was also some conversation about scav karma and things like that, but he didn't really say anything new about those things. It's stuff that we've already heard. Things about, Fence's rep, and it will be moving into a PMC-related system at some point in the future. We already knew all of this, so there wasn't anything new that came out of that there. But from what we got out of this, some pretty cool things. Cool things in the works. I'm still, I was hyped up before, and now I'm even, just, please, can I just play it? Nikita, please, just Nikita, just DM me on Discord and let me come play it. All right, please. Anyway, guys, that's what I have for this one. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all of your time, and I hopefully we'll see you in the next video. Okay, peace. We're gonna retry. Sorry. My fault. Sorry, chat. Okay. All right, back to the thing. All right, my fault. All right, let's go. Okay. Yeah, we're going back at it, chat. We're gonna try this again. All right. We gotta load up on the units. Okay.